Thanks. Bye. You better not stand there. Huh?
I'm not, I've got work to do.
Bye. Hi, it's Lucy. Thank you for coming back to Talk Legal with Lucy. Today I'm going to be doing a video about college, UCAS and what university you should pick and what the factors you should take into consideration when you're making a choice for university. So firstly I'm going to explain probably what I said in the last video, a bit about me and what I did and what I looked for when I was making these choices, in the hope that it's going to help you if you're in the position now of not knowing what to pick, or you're going into second year and you're starting your UCAS applications. So I went to a college in Middlesbrough. It was part of Middlesbrough College, so it was a sixth form. When I went, I started in 2014, so it would be nearly 6-7 years ago now. It was encouraged that we did 4 A-levels. We didn't have to. I think that was because the unis actually didn't require it. They required 3 or the equivalent of 3 A-levels. I think we did 4 just in case we'd messed one of them up, which turns out I did, so probably best that I did do 4 in the start. The one that I messed up was actually law. I actually failed that in AS level. Dropped sociology because I didn't like that. So in the end I ended up coming out with not great grades, I'll be honest. I think I got a C, maybe a D, and then 100% in BTEC law, which brought my grades up, and I'm actually lucky that I went to university and actually did better at university, because I do think A-levels are a lot harder than sort of the beginning bit of your degree, and I think a lot of people put a lot of pressure on themselves to do really well, and I think it just, people need to take it easy. You don't want to sort of overdo it, but you also do want to get the grades to get into the university that you want to attend. The reason that I picked the subjects that I did is because when I was told my careers advisor in school, when I was in year 10, year 11, so quite a while ago now, that I wanted to do a law degree, what essentially they said was that the best thing to do, based on if I was going to go and do a law degree, would be to go to college and pick academic subjects, so things like history, English literature, psychology, law, English language, subjects that would require you in an exam to write a lengthy detailed answer about a situation or question or problem, because that is the sort of stuff that you do get assessed on a law degree. And I think that helped me massively in terms of I'd managed to previously have done some sort of lengthy written answer, and it wasn't sort of a bit of a shock when you're getting these 3,000-4,000 word essays, because I'd done it before and I'd practiced it a lot before. Not that there is any requirements for a law degree, or there wasn't when I was applying. You didn't have to have specific A-levels, not like you were if you were a doctor or a vet or something like that. You didn't have to do law, but my advice would always be do something academic that includes writing lengthy answers, just like I say, because it does give you the sort of heads up on what you're likely to expect at degree level. A-levels can be extremely hard, and like my grades were horrendous at A-level. I could have done a lot better with hindsight. I mean, yes, I did get into university, but by the skin of my teeth, essentially. I did get an unconditional offer, and potentially if I hadn't got that unconditional offer, would I have gone to university? I don't know. So I think people need to take it easy, but also remember that it is extremely important to get your grades. Also, something I didn't realise when I was at A-level, if you are applying to a larger firm and there is candidates that have got, say for example you've got 2 candidates that have got a first, they've both got great personalities, you think they would fit in well with the team, they will actually go back and look at your A-levels, which I had absolutely no idea. Smaller firms, I don't know whether the firm that I worked for, whether that was a big issue for them that I hadn't done brilliantly. I think because I'd got my degree and the grade that I'd got my degree, that sort of was more important, because I work in a high street firm. I can't speak for all high street firms, and I can't speak for all large firms, but I do think you need to take into consideration what area you want to go in. If you wanted to go into corporate commercial and work for those bigger firms, do bear in mind that it is something that do take into consideration. I don't think it's going to be the deciding factor, but like I say, I had no idea that that was the case when I was making an application to uni. So yeah, definitely try your hardest, but remember that it is very difficult. So don't worry if you don't do great, like it's absolutely fine. In second year at college was when you start doing your UCAS applications. When I went, it was £10 for one university application or £25 for 5, so it was a bit of a no-brainer really. I applied for the 5 because I thought I'd have more of a chance of getting into a university, and I didn't want to set my heart on one particular university and then be absolutely gutted if I didn't get the grades, or they didn't accept me, or they just basically declined my offer. I think when you're doing your UCAS application, it's really important to sell yourself within your personal statement. And I know personally hate bigging myself up. I'm not one of the, I find it really difficult, CVs and things like that, because I got assessed on one of the employability skills at uni, and I found it really difficult because what's too much and what's not enough. I don't think it's a case of writing about how bloody fabulous you are, because I don't think that's what they're looking for. What they're looking for is what skills you have and what you can bring to the table, and like, are those skills transferable to degree level. You also got to remember that you can get an unconditional based off your personal statement, so definitely try your hardest with that. Like I say, make sure you blow your own trumpet, however make sure it's things like skills and things that will be relevant to the topic that you're applying for, because there's no point. They don't want to know anything that's irrelevant. It's mainly obviously the skills and the qualities that you have that can be transferred onto degree level. So it's good to put in examples of things that you've done that demonstrate these skills. So for example, I put that I could work well within a team because I'd previously done D&V. I also was a sports leader in school, so I had leadership qualities, and I think that's what got me 2 unconditional offers. I think more because I hadn't just said I'm really responsible, I'm really this, I'm really that. I actually managed to back up what I was saying with different skills and with different examples of skills that I'd learned. So I remember being at college, and it was one of the law lecturers that said to me, don't make applications to universities that you know fine well that you won't get into. There was no point in me applying to somewhere like Cambridge or Oxford, because there was not a cat in hell's chance that I was going to get anywhere above an A or an A star. Just what was unrealistic. There is no point in me making an application or wasting an application to a university that I know fine well I'm not going to get into. But in the same breath, don't sell yourself short. Don't think that you can't achieve the grades, but it's finding that balance of you need to be realistic in what you're going to be able to achieve and what your mock results and trial exams have said that you've got, because they're very telling of what the real exam is. And make sure you put 110% into those trial exams, because what you achieve within that can be quite telling as to what you're going to get at the end. And you don't want to find that you have to go through clearing. Not that there's anything wrong with going through clearing. You want to be able to secure that place, because it helps with accommodation. Because I know that Northumbria, I think you have to put your accommodation in when you make the UCAS application. I think if you go through clearing, you only get a certain of what's left of the accommodation. Not that any of it's bad, I just think it's something to be aware of. When looking at universities that you want to apply to, there's a few different things that I would definitely suggest, which would be open days. 100% you need to go to open days. They literally tell you all sorts about that university. You can go, you can have a look around at the facilities, you can look at the mock courtrooms, you can look at the libraries, you can look at the student halls, and most importantly you get to meet your teachers. I met a lot of my teachers at Leeds Beckett's open day, and it turned out to be like my actual teachers that I was when I started university, and I found it really helpful because I got a feel for the type of people that I would be learning from. All really great, but yeah, definitely open days 100%, because it's invaluable bits of knowledge, do you know what I mean? And you can get to have a look around. The course itself is really important. You need to pick something that's right for you. I wanted to do law for a long time. and I decided when making the applications that I would be more employable if I did a law with, which isn't necessarily true at all. The law withs that I picked I knew nothing about. Like law with management, law with business, I'd never done it before. Don't really know why I picked it, but I did. And I just think going forward, my advice to anybody would be research into what you're doing. If you think there's something that might interest you, then that's fine, because I managed to swap. I thought I'd be interested in management or business and I just wasn't, so I swapped to straight law, which is fine, but that's not always the case with every single university. So if you have your mind set on law, brilliant. There is law withs available at different universities. Not every university offers it, and you do end up with a qualifying law degree at the end of it, just with extra modules. But yeah, definitely research the course that you want to do and whether that course is the right course for you. Also look at the electives, which I don't think is mentioned very often. You know, electives in first year, you do your core legal modules. When I was doing electives in second year, I think it was a choice between advocacy and medical law in first semester, and then second semester was commercial or family, and then third semester there was a lot of different ones to pick from, including your legal executive qualifications, which took up 3 out of 6 of your electives, which I actually did. But yeah, look at what they offer for the electives. Is there anything there that you'd actually be interested in? Because, prime example, my brother, he really liked what he was studying at college, but I'd already done the degree, so I was saying to him, what you study at college is not the same as what you would study at university. You do your civil, your criminal, the very common, popular areas of law, which are great, and I love them both, but you don't get to see contractual law, commercial law, which a lot of people are interested in, which personally I wasn't. So I found it quite difficult when I was going in to contract law, because it's not something that I was overly confident in doing, and I don't think I expected those to be on the syllabus, and I was probably a fool for not researching it more than what I actually did. But yeah, essentially research where you go in, the course, open days, and the place itself. Are you going to fit in with where you live? Nightlife, big one, and I know everyone's like, oh yeah, I won't go to all the socials and things like that. What socials can you join? What socials do they have available? Is there anything that you would like to join? How do you go about joining those things? Nightlife, clubs, pubs, cafes, all sorts. Are you going to actually like where you're going to live? I don't think it's sort of thought about enough. I know when I went to Leeds, I went because a lot of people in my family had gone. It seemed like the right university. I didn't really know the place very well. Luckily, we have family friends that live there, and they took me under the wing, and it was amazing. So they would cook me tea sometimes, so it was great. And I knew that I wasn't about an hour and a half away from home, so I wasn't miles away. But you need to be comfortable with where you're going. Do you want to stay close to home? Do you want to go further away? Are you going to be comfortable with where you're living? I think just in general, it's important to take into consideration a lot of factors, not just academically, when you're making these sort of choices. Personally, I'm really glad with where I went. I knew I was close enough to home. I knew that there was people there that I knew. I loved the area. I made best friends for life at uni. Some of which, one of the girls I lived with from first year all the way till final year, we're still in contact now. Even in lockdown, we have our quizzes. So yeah, definitely think about the place itself, the course, open days that give you all the insight that you need. Try hardest at college, but don't be too hard on yourself. Don't overdo it, because it will reflect in your grades, and be realistic in your choices. So my next video, I will definitely film this week. I'm going to make this promise now, because I said I didn't give a time scale. So yeah, I have had exams during that period. Not that that's an excuse, and I have taken a week off, but I'm going to promise to make the next video this week. What do you guys want to see in the next video? Comment below to let me know. Also, I'm going to add my Instagram in here so that you can follow me and message me with any sort of information that you need, or anything that you want to ask me about this video, or what you want me to do in the video on next time would be amazing. Thank you so much for listening, and if you like this video, then please subscribe below.